I mean, it sounds like you, from a kind of a younger age, you were very adventurous and open, and then you ended up in this Renaissance scene. Could you tell me more about that? Because that was something that was surprising to me, like how free spirited and open sexually people are in the Renaissance scene. Did you know
Right.
that this was all happening?
I didn't quite know about it at first until I got involved with it. It was only my second year going. I had a ridiculous costume on. I dressed as a Roman legionnaire because I'm a history buff and stuff.
Okay.
But so one of the fighting groups there talked to me and recruited me because they saw that I bought armor and stuff. Little did they know I was hitting hard financial times right after that. But I joined their crew and just started living the fair life, learning how to sword fight, all that kind of stuff. But I found out the original Renaissance Fair started back in the 60s. You know what it was called?
What was it?
It was was it the Northern California? No, wait, the Renaissance Pleasure North. Oh, I gotta look that up now. I have it real quick.
Okay. Take
It's
your time.
it's like Renaissance Pleasure of Northern California or something like that.
So the
Oh,
Renaissance fair started as like a sexual thing.
it did back in the summer of love, actually.
That's like interesting. Why the Renaissance fair out of all the historical kind of things that happen?
Right. Well, I guess it wasn't a thing before then, right? So they started it up. It was up. I don't know how the pleasure and the Renaissance really got connected for the fair, but
Yeah.
that trend seemed to stick and became part of the culture as well. A lot of the folks travel around the country too that go to every kind of one, or at least their local areas and stuff. And I guess it seemed to spread ever since the 60s.
Right. It sounds almost like like rock star tour life, It's like the Renaissance. Like
Right? Something like that.
they're
But
going on tour.
so many open relationships, poly relationships, all types of members of all different communities. I know I know a girl who's a cat. So when she comes to fair, she wants to be a cat. And she's a cat.
Oh, that's
Thing.
interesting. So, and that's like a
Yeah.
sexual.
I don't know if it's a sexual. I'm assuming it would be. It's like an
Okay.
everything thing for that lady. So
Okay, that's
I
very
don't know.
interesting. Well, more potential guests to have on this podcast, I think.
Well, her social skills aren't the best. She might just
Okay.
mail it, yeah, but uh, there's quite a few.
It is interesting about the cat thing. I mean, I once I was at a party and
Yeah.
there was this girl and she apologized. We were all just like
Yeah.
talking, drinking, everything, and then she was like, "Oh, sometimes I just like meowing," and I thought, "Huh,
Oh, oh,
okay." Like
we,
I'm
oh,
not judging.
we do that at the house. That's how we communicate.
I mean,
If I need Freya or if Zoo needs Freya, we meow real loud.
okay, so you're using that as a communication way.
Yes, we do.
And
Actually,
I don't think she was saying it in like I'm trying to. She just wanted to meow like herself,
just
and then
meow. And
she was
sometimes we
like,
meow, meow.
right, that's what she was saying. She was just like,
I'm
no, no,
guilty, so I know it.
no. And that was just fascinating to me because she was just like, when she was excited, when it was, she just said like she just has this like outburst where she wants to meow, like, and then at the party, remember it was a New Year's
Mm.
party. The clock struck New Year's, and everyone was like toasting, drinking, and then she just started like meowing, like it was her
Just
explanation.
howling like a cat in
Yeah,
heat.
yeah. She was just like meow meow. And like I remember, and then she was like apologizing for it. She's like, "Oh, sorry. Sometimes when I get worked up."
That's the only problem in the whole story right there is her apologizing.
And I was like, "That's fine. Like, be
Right?
free."
No,
Like,
fucking meow.
yeah. I was just like, "Whatever,
Cute.
meow."
Pull her tail in the back, but
Like I was like, okay. And so, and then when you talked about this girl who wanted to, like be a cat in the Renaissance fair, it reminded me of that. And I'm just like, I guess there's all these expressions of self that people have.
yeah, and
Uh,
this and it's super accepting at the fair too. They're like you can find all walks of life and ones you didn't even think existed. It's amazing.
And I wonder what about the Renaissance fair inspires that versus like a Civil War reenactment group or,
I think so. I have a couple theories.
right.
So, and it kind of plays in like how I work too. So when I was young, I'm still a nerd and all, but again, I was shy and bullied too, and I didn't get a lot of girls when I was younger. And I kind of had to learn my skills and work, learn how it works, right? Um, Turns out, good idea. More people should try that. But during high school, it's just like I'm longingly looking at all these beautiful girls, and I think not everyone has the recovery I do, or the right. So a lot of these people who are nerds and such are different, um, right? They kind of like the Catholic schoolgirl who you know, gets over horny eyes because she's kept away and told everything's bad. It's
Right.
like, no, you can't get this. You can never have this. You know what I mean? So when they get their, because it's like an adult's playground is a Renaissance fair, really. So when you get to go to this place, it's like you're just dying to express that urge that was always kind of beaten down in you, or it wasn't available to you when you were younger, kind of thing. That's my
And
guess.
yeah,
That's
and
my
it
theory.
brings these people together to explore their
Well, the
sexuality.
community is great anyway, just period. Like, again, like I said, they're accepting in all types of ways. Like, you know what I mean? So we have pagans, Muslims, and Christians all in our fighting group. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so
So
different religions, and
all
then
different
people.
groups, political parties, all types of things. So
Hmm. Yeah, it does sound like a very accepting of place. But then where does the sexual aspect come in? Like, how do people get
right,
that started?
I, it's just there, man. It's
Do you
I
guys like use the Renaissance like things during, like just the swords and things like that in the bedroom?
I'm sure some people do,
Okay.
right? You know what I mean? I know Freya always had a thing for wanting to get it done in a tent was one of her fantasies.
Okay.
And she definitely loves the fact that I'm a knight. So, you know what I mean? So maybe that plays a part of some of it,
Chivalry, the
right?
gentleman
It's not
aspect.
dead, yo.
Okay, that's
It's different.
interesting. I mean, I had no idea about this Renaissance. I just thought it was like a hobby, like like Dungeons and Dragons or a group
Well,
or
yeah, well,
talking.
it's definitely that. It's combined with community, but what you don't expect is the kinky aspect behind it. It's like all there, but it was that the North Florida pleasure fair, man. Renaissance pleasure fair. That's where it all started.
Right. And then it just continued. And then
Yeah. So
afterwards at parties are, do people.
we do have cast parties often. It's usually when most debauchery at the Renaissance fair happens. But then you also meet people too. So like, um, it's funny. Both Freya and this girl are Cuban. Um, but the girl who keeps sending me pictures and videos and stuff, like we've only made out one time actually in person at a cast party or something like that, right?
Okay.
Right. Her husband wasn't there.
Right,
He
right.
was there at the party, but he wasn't there while we are doing it. But
Right.
I think he's good with that.
Right. Because that's his the hot wifing
I
dynamic.
think thing, yeah. Like I think his thing is to get her ready or enjoy her doing the thing or maybe hearing about it later. I don't know.
Hmm.
But probably another one if like COVID wasn't around or something, we'd probably be screwing around too and stuff.
Yeah. So you
But
meet people at the Renaissance fair in the community then.
oh my God,
It's
tremendous.
open.
Oh yeah, a lot. It's a rotating door too. So like even just our group alone, just our group is a rotating door of awesome new people.
Right.
Then there's just the fair too in general, the fairs. But
It's interesting. I think, like, for the listeners, I think if you're curious about any of the things we talked about, I guess the Renaissance Fair is the place to check it out.
maybe check out. We've definitely caught people having sex in the bathroom before, like the public toilets and stuff.
Wait,
These are patrons, by the way. These aren't even our kinky locals. But
what is a patron?
oh, a patron, a client, the guests, the people that don't work there.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay. So it's just a visitor to
The,
the.
the people who show up to the fair. I actually work there, so we work there.
Okay, okay. So there's the two different communities. There's the workers and the people that run the fairs, and then there's just the people who are interested in their scene.
Yeah, and everyone who comes, right? All the guests.
Right, all the guests. I've never been to a Renaissance Fair, so I
Oh,
mean,
well, you gotta go.
I guess I
I got
do.
got the connects for you, so.
Yeah, no, it sounds like I'll be like right there. I know all the important people. I could just.
Oh yeah, you'll be walking around the camp and everyone and talking to all the guys. Yeah, it'd be great.
It is
Have fun.
interesting. Like, I mean, it's just
And I
not
can introduce you
expected.
to quite a few interesting people too. You might like to talk to as well. So
Oh yeah, no, that sounds cool. Like, I mean, I wonder how many of the people at the Renaissance Fair just consider themselves to be swingers versus polyamorous. I think there's like different dynamics.
right, yeah, it's all about what terms are you using and stuff. Because swinger used to be quite the more popular term, right?
Yeah, because I think swingers, they have couples that they like to play with,
Right.
and they swap the husbands or swap the wives. But
The
I
old school,
don't.
yeah.
it's like a form of polyamory. Maybe polyamory is just like a big umbrella term, and then
That's the way I kind of view it.
yeah.
Well, polyamory I just view as more committed kind of thing. More of a, I'm more of a thing about polygamy and marriage kind of thing to go
Hmm.
with that. But a lot of people open, a lot of swingers. They probably all fall under the umbrella though, right? I don't know.
Right, right. You know, because I like to think about the future, and I'm thinking maybe in 20
I think this
years.
would be a lot more common in 20 years.
Yeah, I definitely think like, especially with the internet, people exploring and opening up their marriages potentially. Um,
Not mention
I
that, just the even just the current millennial financial stress and lifestyle too, as well. I mean, we're more suited to live together in 3 units compared to our parents that used to be able to raise a family with one income, right?
oh, interesting. So you're thinking there's like a financial
Well,
aspect
there's
to it.
definitely a financial benefit to this
Could
too.
you
Having a
talk more
millennial,
about that?
I,
Like the financial
sure,
aspect?
like what do you call it? Like so my buddy Zoo, right? He
Mhm,
owns an IT company. He gets all these extra laptops and stuff. So I'm going to help out the family as I'm unemployed at the moment
mhm.
and sell these old laptops of his just to earn some extra funds for the house.
Okay.
Just 'cause I got a lot of free time, you know. So just having an extra hand for everything helps. Making dinner, cleaning the house, raising the kid, everything, you know. So
Right. It's
basic.
interesting because, and I think in the past, people would rely on family members or friends to help with give it to lend a hand, right? And now it's adding a sexual component to that, where it's like you're creating
Yeah,
families, but it's like
yeah.
a sexual aspect to the family.
In a way, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
because it's like, imagine, because I'm thinking, if I have a friend who's just helping around, the friend's really good at doing something that I can't do. But at the end of the day, the friend hangs out with me, but the friend goes home at the end of the day. But I'm just imagining like dialing it up to the next level where now you have like that sexual aspect with a friend too.
Yeah, it's like a more intimate roommate, right?
And that's what I'm saying. It's just like a community, but you guys also have that like sexual and relationship aspect to it, intimacy, physical intimacy.
Yeah, we have that, and then it's the freedom too that keeps it not so scary as well.
Right.
Because no one feels chained in or bound in a way, you know.
Yeah, I'm just curious about like what happens if people's needs increase, like it works for obviously the situation could work for them time, but like later on somebody
Yeah,
just like
no, it's an ongoing concern of ours actually.
right,
Um, or at least I know it's been a Freya's because she's gone through such dramatic changes, like especially with her body and such, but
right,
also psychologically too. We joke it's like Freya 2.0 got launched or something like that. And
right.
we were joking at three Empress is 3.0, but
Okay, so this
uh,
is different levels. She
yeah,
leveled
you
up
know,
to Empress
she's
level.
leveling up.
Okay.
That's another great thing that really like kept me with her was like, so not only do we communicate well and everything too, she also listens, works on herself, and grows as a person. And I don't always see that a lot. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, you go, girl. And
Right.
she keeps impressing me all the time that way. So
So she's dynamic, she's growing. I just wonder, if there is a tragedy, right? Like let's say that somebody is depressed or has a need where they're one person is just naturally going to fulfill that more, and then you just end up spending more time, there's more intimacy, there's more of a connection, and the third person kind of gets left out because not on the third person's fault, but maybe there's like more work pressure, just um
oh yeah, well, I mean, again, so that's why, yeah, I mean, it only works with communication, like,
right.
and a certain I don't want to say intellect, but like awareness, or you got to kind of be able to look at things kind of like above, you know, you can't be like I want it like stuck on a level. You kind of got to see the bigger picture, and
Okay.
you know what I mean?
So you have
Like
to like rise above like
that's the
jealousy and
way I kind of see
possessiveness.
it. Yeah, it's like because those aren't real issues anymore now that they're almost conquered. Really, it's great.
So what happens if you do feel jealous? Like how do you deal with that feeling?
I'll just well, it depends. Since I do get jealous real easily for the most
Yeah.
part. Um, it depends. If I think it's like no big deal or just something, it's just me or something slight or little, I'll probably just keep it to myself. But if
Okay.
it's something that bothers me, I'll just talk to her about it.
When was the last time you were bothered by something and you had to have the discussion with her?
Well, we had a discuss. She had a one night stand before COVID started, like really like 2 weeks before COVID started or something
Mhm.
like that. And what do you call it? It irked me a lot for some reason. And I know, but it turned out later on she had a bad experience as well, which really I don't know what is it. So she kind of came to me to talk about it instead.
Mm.
Normally we wouldn't talk about it, but she was having a problem, so we talked. You know what I mean? And that's great. It's fine. I had no problem with that. And it's such the key to everything. It's just talk, communicate, express yourself, be direct.
Okay.
You know what I
And
mean?
what about it irked you?
Hmm?
You said that you were
Yeah,
irked.
it bothered me. I don't know why, really.
Mm.
Um, probably I don't know. Probably just because I have something else at the time. Probably more of a jealousy of myself or mad at myself kind of thing.
Okay, so do you think it's these feelings like anger, jealousy is a manifestation of how you feel, what's going on with you? Like, suppose you had a really shitty day at work, that's gonna increase your anger at her, like having a one night stand or something.
Yeah. I mean, normally I wouldn't be angry about it, right?
Right.
I don't know why this one particularly bothered me. It's because she was really intoxicated at the time,
Okay.
right? So that part I didn't like, but
From a health perspective. Yeah, no,
right.
so the only thing is I wonder what happens when things like addiction comes into play or mental health issues, like how that could affect the dynamic.
Well,
But
actually, it's funny because we were talking before. We happened to just touch on the subject of ADD, right?
right.
And I just recently, because Lord Zoo's going through trouble with it, what do you call it? And recently kind of found out he has it. And as I'm reading more, mostly from the memes and stuff on these pages and hearing Freya talk about the things and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, that's me too. It's actually scary how similar we are too, even though we're very different, me and Zoo.
Okay. You think she has
Yeah.
a type?
Apparently, yeah, personality type in a way.
Okay.
We're also very different though too. It's weird.
In what ways are you different?
Well, I'm definitely more spiritual and hippy dippy,
Hmm.
right? I'm a little more about. I'm a little better with the communication, I think,
Mm.
um, and just certain other things, just interests and stuff too as well. It's more scary about the weird things that we have in common, like just super weird things, just like different things we like. It's the oddest things, foods we don't like, or ways we deal with things. But I think it has to do too because we both have ADD. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And
And he
so
has his own business. He runs a business while
yes,
having ADD. Okay.
yes.
So no, it's it, and I'm just curious. Like for some people, I think the main argument, I guess, against polyamory and open relationships is, people who are proponents of monogamy will say, well, your romantic partner is not supposed to fulfill all your needs. Like you're not supposed to have everything fulfilled. Like that's why you have friends, and that's why you have your
An extra
community.
partner or a boyfriend on the side, right?
No, no, that's the
Right?
monogamous people. Like I'm just
Oh,
playing devil's
they want.
advocate.
I don't know why you'd want to deny yourself a better life. So,
Okay. So no, because they
right.
would say you can get that like through friendship. You can get that through like I don't know relationships that are just not sexual, and
I
that's
mean,
sexuality.
honestly, I've been more disappointed in both family and friends
Mm.
through the past couple of years. It's actually been very eye opening, and I'm more interested in kind of building my own family and thing, on my own.
What would be your ideal family setup?
I'm loving what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I want to populate this with like a bunch of kids or something and
Okay.
all that stuff and have a giant family, but mostly because I never had that. Or I mean, we had a big family, but it
Yeah.
was never good.
Okay. So you had that kind of a toxic family dynamic, and you want to have a
A healthy
loving,
one.
yeah, loving,
Right.
healthy. Interesting. So you think the healthiest relationships that you've been in and you've experienced have been in polyamorous relationships?
Healthy wise, yes. Yeah,
Interesting.
even when it comes to the other one, when I like I was saying before, when we broke up, it was so like amiable and like
Yeah.
okay and matter of fact and like yeah, okay, that's great. You know what I mean? Like it's like normally a breakup, and as I've gotten older, like that first breakup, I want to die,
Right.
right, and they get
Yeah.
easier every time, but they still hurt.
Yeah.
This had no sting to it. It was just okay,
Interesting. So would
right.
you, since that relationship, what made it end? That one, the polyamorous previous one.
Well, I don't know. I have a theory, and I don't know if it's correct, and that's just conjecture on my part. I would just limit it or lack or chalk it up to a lack of communication,
Hmm.
and also, again, I was still new to a lot of the things at the time, and I wasn't really. I was going along with the thing, but I didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
As well then, um, but it was definitely an eye-opening experience.
What do you think is different in this relationship that you weren't?
Same thing I keep coming back to, communication.
Okay. So,
It's so much everything. It is so fundamental to just life, but relationships and of course to your partner and sex life. Talk
right.
about it.
So do you think
Right.
you're a better communicator at this relationship, or, you know,
I think we're on the same. Me and Freya are on the same level, and we're bringing Zoo up
okay.
to our
Okay.
level.
So interesting. So you're kind of, it's like you're teaching the third
I'm
parties.
I'm pretty much Freya's like on-call psychotherapist.
Oh,
I should be getting a copay every goddamn time.
well, it
And
sounds like you're
I love
interested.
doing it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I wish I could be a clinical psychologist, but I'm not going to take out another goddamn college loan.
Yeah.
So
This allows you to fulfill that.
I mean, yeah, no, I do find it fulfilling, and it's rewarding too, because like I said, she grows, like she listens and grows. It's great.
Okay.
I've seen her change into. So you were talking about worrying about people changing before, right? And at least in her case, like you can still see the fundamental her in her, but she's just become more self-confident, more, sure of herself, more capable, all these things. It's great.
Right. No, that's very positive. And I just, I was just thinking of something we were talking about earlier about just needs and things like that. And
Right.
I wonder how you would handle a situation where, let's say the husband, Zoo, he wanted a night extra time with her when you were scheduled to spend time with her. How would you handle something like that?
Oh, I mean, I'd be fine with it as long as I get my time made up or something like that, right?
Okay. So,
Yeah, I'm like, all right, but I'll make it up on another day or something like that, right?
okay. Okay. No, I'm just curious. So, like, suppose he is just like, it's my birthday, or I, like, I don't know. I'm just
Right, yeah. If his birthday landed on one of our days, obviously that would supersede.
okay. And you'd be okay with that,
Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're pretty consistent with our schedule, but it's okay. Like we haven't missed a Tuesday in about the year and a half, but
Yeah. I'm just thinking about times where people's needs just increase, like,
yeah, no, I know what you're saying, and it's something we've talked that we're worried about and stuff,
yeah.
but we just got to take it as it comes and develops and stuff. But
Yeah.
again, as we all get better again communicating, uh, I hate that I sound like a broken record, but it's just
No,
so
you just
fundamental.
don't
Dude.
foresee yourself needing her like every night for
Mhm.
some,
Well, I mean, it's not like I don't need her next to me in bed every night.
yeah.
Hey, she comes, she gives me a kiss and stuff every night, right? She's upstairs if I need her, right?
Okay.
It's yeah, no, I'm fine with all that. Yeah.
Okay. And you're
Yeah.
fine with the knowledge that she's having sex with her husband. And how does that make you feel? Like, or does it make you feel peaceful, happy?
Uh,
Ang-
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, it makes me feel good, glad, right? Um, and I don't know if it was because I was coming in, I knew she was married and stuff, so I wasn't really jealous towards Zoo.
right.
Fucking wife, man, right? So I don't know if that had an aspect to how my mental went into it,
Right.
but like that never presented itself to me in a jealous way.
Because she was open. I think that's a big aspect.
It really is, yes.
So if you think that she never, if you met her when she wasn't married, or she never disclosed the fact you're married, that might
Mm.
change the way you feel about the acceptance.
Oh yeah, yeah, that changed dynamics Well, not terribly if you're, I guess, single, right? Except that I might have not been as open to the open thing, right?
Right.
So I kind of eased my way into it.
Okay.
Um, and it seemed like fate just kept pushing me towards these lines too. So,
Right, right.
but it's great. I've never been happier in my life. So
That's
I
good
hope
to
it keeps
hear.
going,
Yeah, and you guys don't plan on all three sleeping in the same bed or, doing.
No, no, it's
Okay.
nowhere in our, no, like I said, we're just buddies, me and Zeus.
Okay, okay. Even
But
if you don't do anything,
good.
like,
It's good though to have like a close friend like that, and like
right.
someone I could actually depend on. Because like I said, I've been disappointed by people that used to be my friends terribly harshly. So yeah,
And you've come to rely. And do you think that if the relationship ends, would you still be friends with Zeus?
more than likely,
Okay.
like yeah, it'd probably end on more of an and if it ever ended,
Amicable.
it would be probably amicable.
And I'm just curious because now that you have the communication skills, you have that,
Hmm.
you developed that. Have you ever thought of revisiting the original polyamorous relationship you were involved in and bringing that in any capacity?
No, because we left it off on kind of a funny thing,
How
and
did
plus, well, and plus, she's gotten I hate to be rude, less attractive over time.
okay, so it was like a physical attraction
It
drop off.
sucks, but I am very again a beautiful woman makes me just go fucking nuts, like uncontrolled. Like it's the most. If I thought like what's the most beautiful thing in the world, I don't think landscapes or sunsets. I think of a beautiful woman, right?
Interesting.
That's my thing. But
I think a lot of women would want to hear that. I think that's the best thing somebody could say
yeah, right.
to a woman. I think, like, yeah, I think every woman wants to feel beautiful and, adored and appreciated. So,
I know. Freya's pretty happy about everything, um, especially with the way our sex life. She laughs at because she used to be friends with an ex of mine, and she's like, "Man, we're telling her, man, she's fucking up. She shouldn't treat you that way, this and that." It's like she doesn't know how like some people pass me up, but what do you call it? I keep telling her I wasn't as good or great back then. So
we
yeah,
never know
always
how we
growing.
shift and we're always growing, right?
Yes, constantly growing. Excelsior, constantly upward. Upward.
Exactly. No, that's good. I mean, and you don't know how the relationship's working out for you currently. You haven't been experimenting sexually, but that could change. You said you're planning the threesomes. You have that spreadsheet of ideas.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's sexual things, that go on or is talked about or what do you call it? Unfortunately, again, most things have been either virtual or just talked about at the moment.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm excited. I haven't gotten the threesome yet, but it's bound to happen. But it's funny. Like we were talking about like jealousy and stuff, and
Mhm.
the only way Freya's gonna get jealous if I don't invite her to get some pussy too. So,
Oh, so she's not involved with any girl that you're with. She'll get
Mhm.
jealous.
Well, she would just feel like she's missing out.
Okay.
She would like to be involved.
Okay. So if you met a woman that you were having sex with, you wouldn't bring her along with you.
I It depends on the situation. Again, the person I'm meeting or who
Yeah.
I've met and where and when and what's their thing and so again with my communication thing, I'm all about honesty as well.
Right.
So so when you said before, if I met her when she was married but then lied to me and like told me she wasn't or lied about the relationship or something like that, that would totally change
Right.
like my view and all that stuff. Like that's dirty. I don't like that. Right?
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't. Be honest. But
So
like I've met. I had a rocky relationship and way back right after high school, and I went to Cape Cod with my cousin, uh, with his girlfriend, and she brought a friend, and she was amazing, especially for who I was back then. What do you call it? So I literally called up and broke up with my girlfriend at the time.
whoa, just from seeing that girl on Cape Cod.
Well, I mean, it was clear that we were gonna do something
All right.
hook up. So instead of actually crossing that line, I
They're
ended
cheating.
first
Okay.
and did the yeah. So I'm honorable. I'm a knight, you know.
Right, that's true. That's true. So you've never cheated.
No, I wouldn't say never, but when I was younger and didn't know better, you know, I cheated before things were over. I wish I could say never, but I haven't maybe in 20 years almost. So, well, almost 20 years.
Okay, then
Let's say
that's
15.
so. How many women have you been with? Like, what's your body count? Would you say?
Jeez, Chris, I don't know. I don't count like that. I would say around 12-ish.
Oh, okay. So not as high as one may think from the polyamorous lifestyle.
Right. But again, it's more of a new thing for me too. I mean, I've only
Yeah.
been involved with 2 seriously open relationships. Um, One was relatively short too, probably only 6 months, compared to this one that's going a year and a half now. But
Okay. No, that's and like, and you're still sort of navigating the things that are off limits, and just the
yeah, but the great part is whatever it is, it comes up. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Um, like we've really have no limits in the bedroom. We got a safe word. I think we've only used it twice, and only because she was a little too sensitive downstairs and I was too hungry.
okay. So it was during oral sex. There was the safe word. So
Yeah, started screaming cupcake.
okay. So does she like the more rougher aspects of the BDSM, like the like slapping, being tied, biting?
Um, yes to most of those. I only slap her bum,
Okay.
but I would mix around with someone who wanted to do it. Like I met girls into that before. It's weird. One of those things I swore I would never do.
What, the biting and slapping?
Hitting a woman,
Yeah, I know it's weird because it
right?
goes against, just all the programming.
All the things, right?
Yeah. Like never hit a girl and then
But yeah, again, I don't even know how it became a thing for me, but it was kind of scary to me that was a thing. You know what I mean? To have those kind of like wants.
urges. And
Is it?
how old were you when it happened?
Mm, I would probably say around 17. I really started getting into that kind of stuff, but it was kind of like I don't know if I'm gonna maybe I have to blame the pornography industry or something on this because you know years of growing up from as soon as I was in puberty we had computers. I mean, used to download a lot
Yeah.
slower the porno in the old days, but what do you call it? I've been doing it since I was a young man, and what do you call it? So you just kind of like you look for something more interesting and up your game, and
Okay.
what do you call it? And
The
it's
sensitivity kind of decrease, like
decreases to weirder
yeah.
shit, right? And next thing I know, I'm just really into like watching girls take it really rough and getting choked, and like why do I even like this stuff? It's like what's wrong with me, kind of thing. And then I meet people who want me to do it to them. I'm like, okay, let's try this out. All right. But they approached me about most of this stuff before I
Right.
did, before I was a
Right.
good communicator and open and all that stuff.
Okay.
But that's where I
Yeah.
learned this all from. All women.
Okay.
All these relationships I've had is why I learned all these things.
So it's what the women have told you that they
They're my
desire, that they
greatest
what you want.
teachers.
Okay. Well,
Or they didn't, and they left me confused, and I had to figure it out, And but I was determined to actually figure it out and not just go, "Oh, that bitch is crazy." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The
right?
only thing you would not do, you said, is peeing or
No, I mean, I could see a world I might do it, but like, it's not my thing. There would
yeah.
have to be my partner begging for it, and I'm already a dom, and I guess I could pee on you if you want.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm just wondering if there's anything that you just like never would do, even if somebody asked you for it.
What do you call it? So I'm just iffy with my bum
Okay.
being played with much.
Okay.
So again, not totally against the idea. I could be talked into it, but what do you call it? Oh, before you ask, I have kissed a man before. I've tried. I know I'm not bi. I've tried. I've dabbled.
What happened when you?
Well, I was a young man, and we were playing spin the bottle, man. And I wanted to see the girls kiss, and so So the deal was me and the young gay kid who I knew was gay at the time had a kiss, and I was like, all right, I'll try it up. See this? All right, see where it goes. And again, I was a horny kid. Tried it out. I was like, no, that did nothing for me.
Interesting. And do you
Yeah.
think it was just that person you weren't attracted to, or you're just not attracted to guys in general?
No, I'm no. 'Cause, so it's weird because over the past years it's increased drastically, but I get hit on by men a lot nowadays.
Hmm.
Um,
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it has to do with just the overall increase in confidence and the way I carry myself and stuff.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think that's what it is. But it's been weird. Like literally, I've had there's literally for the beginning of 2020, for every month I had a different dude ask me to do something weird.
Like, what did they ask?
My favorite was this guy on Facebook. I don't remember how we became friends, right? And he just started, messaging me one day, talking about wanting to hang out. I'm like, yeah, man, maybe one day, sure, whatever. It's COVID, crazy times, don't know, right? We talked a few other times, and yeah, next thing you know, he's like, come on, why don't you stay over at my house, this and that. I'm like, no, I'm good. Kept avoiding it. And then like his last ditch attempt was, all right, man, why don't you just come over before I have to go to work for a little blow and go, and that was it. Yeah, that's why he dropped the blow and go. I was like, what, blow and go? Like I had gotten the idea already, but like that was,
Did he want to like suck you off, or did he want you to
yeah,
suck
he
him
wanted
off?
to suck me off. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, I've had to fight that off a lot.
Okay, so basically guys will just invite you over for you to get your dick sucked and then you could just go and leave.
I'm assuming I've never went to find out what the etiquette is afterwards, but
Yeah, no, so I have a friend who's gay and
yeah.
he says that's kind of common. I mean, he was talking like telling me about, now he's settled down and he's, engaged and things like that. But he said
Mhm.
in the past he would get requests off Grinder and apps like that where guys would literally come over,
Oh yeah,
suck
they
his
that's what
dick,
they
and
do.
then just leave. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
whoa.
they're men. They're gross. They're
It's just
dogs.
it's just like no
Love
precursor.
it.
I'm like, you don't have to like talk or have a conversation or doesn't want to stab you. He's like, no, we're men. That's exactly what he said. He's like, he will literally come over, suck my dick, and then just leave.
Just fucking leave like men want. Like,
I'm
hey.
just like, okay. That like blew my mind.
There's been reasons I'm like, damn, I wish I was gay, man. My life would be easier. Like I would, right? At least I'd be into everyone. And no, I've there's
Just a
another
blow
funny.
and go. That's just a funny
There's a
term.
little. Hey, why don't you come over for a little blow and go, right? What do you call it? Another funny one was so I was in a spiritual group. I think it was
Mhm.
something about meditation and stuff. And they had like a mentorship program and an apprentice program, right?
Yeah.
To like learn about whatever they want to ask about. So I met this guy from Australia and he wanted to do some meditations and stuff, this and that. Anyway, we're doing a meditation together, right? And I noticed he doesn't have a shirt on or whatever, and then like he just gets up and there's this little fucking turtle head. Like he's naked the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck is like dude, what? I felt bad too, because I'm like, hey, look at that little turtle head. It was embarrassing. Honestly, I would have to admit, I felt bad for
He
him.
like had a micro dick or something.
It was way too. I got a little weight on him, so I guess that affects it. But it looked like a
Yeah.
little mushroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe he's a real grower. I don't know. But yeah. So I guess he was just meditating with me naked a bunch of times. So that was something.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I mean, maybe it could be the factor of you talking to strangers who message you on Facebook.
I mean, again, I'm not surprised, but no, I mean, even I've so I don't know if this had something to do with me getting fired from this position. So I worked at a bar in well, I won't say where, but a local place here in Connecticut,
Hmm.
one of the more cosmopolitan towns, I guess, um, where I was a waiter and a bouncer,
Hmm.
and one of the regulars was great, but he was a gay dude, right?
Hmm.
Um, and we fucking hit it off. He was hilarious. Um, what do you call it? And I used to hang out there after work with and chill. And then he gave me wind that the owner was getting upset that I was drinking at the establishment.
Right.
So we would go to the bar next door, me and him. and it was fucking a blast. I mean, when he got too drunk, he would not stop asking me to like for him to suck my dick. Like that was his thing. Like, come on, let me suck your dick. Come on, please. Like, we'll do it. Like, but it was more of a joke. It was like fun. It wasn't like a because I've also had those like aggressive gay men where I feel like I know how a woman feels. Kind of. It's like, dude, stop. You're gross. Just stop. Say
Yeah.
no, no, stop, dude. Just all right,
Yeah, no
stop it.
means no.
Right. But like, I could probably kill this dude if I wanted to. Right.
Right.
I'm a 6'1" sword fighter. I'm not a small woman. Like,
Right.
so I really I feel so bad. I don't know how women date or do anything. I really don't. Hats off to all you.
Props out to any of the women
Oh
listening.
my god, I'm sorry about all the shit you have to deal with. I've heard so many horror stories.
Yeah, there are a lot of horrors. There's a lot of horror stories.
Oh
But
my
I
god.
get
So the girl that my blowjob anal girl, um, I like going down on girls, but unfortunately, whoever went down on her first hit
mhm.
her clit. Didn't know
Bit.
what they're bit.
Oh my
What
gosh,
they were
ouch.
doing and just bit it.
I'm just like recoiling just from
I
the
I can't even imagine because I don't have that many receptors on my dick, so I can't even imagine. Like, and yeah, so she's definitely terrified of anyone being around down
yeah.
there.
And
Yeah,
did he
fucking
like give a
scarred her for life.
warning? Did he give a warning before?
No,
That's
yeah.
horrible.
Like he thought he was supposed to.
Oh my
Like he
God.
just did not know. He was just ignorant.
That just sounds like the
Like if he
nightmare.
was like nibbling, like biting a nipple.
Yeah.
I wanted to say nibbling because you should nibble, not bite. Fucking. But yeah, that's fucked, man.
That's I
And
mean,
that's
I
just
can imagine
one
how
of
that
the
starts.
horrible stories I've heard. I mean, and then the stuff I've had to stop that I've witnessed, especially back in college. Oh my god, what do you call it? There's this fucking we called him Necro because he was we were
Like
down in
necrophilia.
we were down in Philadelphia at St. Joe's
Mhm.
visiting one of my friends. It was his roommate actually. This was actually um same place I was mistaken for a tennis player, but this was after this incident. But one of the girls in this party or whatever uh, came over to us. Well, first we get a glimpse of her kind of like with her eyes closed,
Yeah.
this kid Necro kissing her, but you can see like she's kind of out of it, and you just see his tongue moving around in her mouth, and we're just like, what the fuck, dude? And then like we got his attention and told him to fuck off somewhere. And then later on, the girl came through and or came back around mentally a little bit, and like just kept like came back to us like asking for help, like, yo, keep that dude away from us and all that shit. And we never let that kid live it down. But I don't know how people do that. It's
I don't know. Yeah, that
so
sounds like
desperate, so thirsty, these boys.
I think it's
That's
a
horrible.
age thing. Like people experience, they emotionally mature at different ages. But
Yeah, no, one of my big epiphanies is that people just stopped aging at certain grades, I'm pretty sure, and just never grew up in adulthood. Like
right.
I could look at someone like, oh, you stopped in 12th grade, or you stopped in 6th grade, or you're still a 6-year old. Like, like I remember the time I lost all faith in adults, like as authority figures. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, they're all broken children. Shit.
And that is true.
Ah,
Like a lot of
yeah.
unaddressed
And
trauma.
I'm an adult. Oh my God. Right?
Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting aspect of how much our trauma or maturity kind of then spills into our sex life, not to get too deep into it, but I'm
Right.
sure it has an aspect.
Absolutely. What do you call it? You gotta unpack all that stuff just for yourself. Just
Yeah,
because what I always say is you can't start communicating with someone else if you can't communicate honestly with yourself.
that
You know,
is true.
so you gotta figure you out first.
Right? And
That's true for a relationship of any kind. Like, don't expect anyone else to fix your problems. You got to be solid.
right.
You know what I mean, on your own.
Well, it sounds like these, the polyamory relationships helping you and now everyone knows all the crazy sexual things that happen in the Renaissance world. So I'm sure attendance is going to skyrocket
Oh,
after.
yeah, right.
It's like people are like,
Unfortunately, looking for like some of the worst, probably bit of it. But oh, you know who I don't trust? Speaking of the Renaissance world, except this one. There's this one I like, but people who do magic.
oh, like tricks, like play.
Yeah, like David Blaine type folks.
Why?
So of the few I've met, it seems like they've only been trying to impress and trick girls into sleeping with them with like their wizardry. It's so amazing when I watch like a really dumb girl get like bewildered and just be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Like,
Pick up
I'm just like,
artists. You
what?
think there's like magic is just a way to pick up girls and like
I've actually seen an ad online about that. I know there is a pickup artist preaching to learn magic.
I
Um,
mean, they have other techniques, right? Like they'll be like, "Oh, you have to do something that like has pizzazz and get a woman's attention and then you can seduce her, like stand out, like
I
wear a
mean, I have to admit, I've watched pickup artist video. Again, I was trying to learn about women and stuff, and quite a lot of them are just, oh my god.
Do they have
Um,
sex tips in pickup artists websites?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
Um, I've only found one that I kind of liked, and it was more because it was like uh self more self communicate, like it's more of a communication thing that was focused on dating just because that's where the money is.
Okay.
But like they would also help you with business stuff too. But
Okay. No, I was just wondering if they like teach you in the pickup artist world like positions, like how to find a woman's clit, G spot stimulation, like maybe that would be
no, I think most of their techniques just get you into the door.
okay.
And then unless you're buying $1,000 programs or meeting up with these folks, I don't even know if they have a vice for after that. But
They're just like, it's all about just getting her to bed. If you suck as a lover, like that's on you, bro.
yeah, I mean, it's just again those shitty one night stands over and over again. Just
Yeah, so it's all about like quantity, not
right,
quality.
yeah, a 2 minute brother and he's done. Two pump chump.
Yeah, but yeah, that's funny. Too fun.
Womp womp disappointments.
I mean, I guess they should have like a expanded section where they're like teach you how to be a lover, because I feel that
Oh
that
my
would
god,
up
there's
your
no
game.
education. There's no sex education in this country. It's terrible. It's when my friend got her clip bit.
That's traumatic. Like the more I hear about getting your clit bit, I'm just like literally like my clit is like shriveling up inside. It's just like
It's just starting to go back in.
it's just like I can't imagine like even anyone listening like having your dick bit or like your clit
Right?
bit.
Yeah. I like no. Like you
Like
just scrape my dick with like your
I mean,
someone's teeth. I'm like okay. Be careful. What's wrong?
that's
Come
the
on.
thing. Like I mean, you would
Professionalism,
think
please.
he has a dick too, so he would know that's probably painful shit. Like nope, he wouldn't want somebody doing that to his dick. Like the clit is not so like different, but
Right.
yeah.
Like I said, I think he was probably like nibbling on a nipple before and was like, "Oh, this is the same thing." And he's probably too hard on the nipples too, and didn't
Oh
fucking
my
realize it, right?
god. He was I mean, different people have different sensitivities, right?
Oh, they
Like,
really do though.
yeah.
It's amazing how different you girls all are.
Right. So I think like maybe he was exactly what you're saying, like playing around the nipple. She wanted a little more pressure
Oh
on
yeah,
the
and
nipple.
then someone who just had like a almost numb clit of their own, and
She
right,
said a numb knuckle. She was just like, yeah,
just
I put like,
Botoxed her clit, and I don't know.
she's like, yeah, like it's anesthesia,
I
like
don't know
down there.
what you got to do to be able to chew on one, but I know it's a lot.
I have, unless she put like some like anesthesia gel down. Maybe it was like some
Oh,
kind of
like some
like,
of that stuff that like numb your gums or something, or
I don't know. Well, that'd be interesting. I'm just
I
like,
never understand that stuff. Like, so I've seen like weird videos of like dudes who love getting their balls like beat up and crushed and all that
oh
weird
my gosh.
shit.
Well, that is a fetish, like stepping. I heard about that where
Yeah.
people like want to be stepped on or
I
they
don't
want to
get
be
it.
crushed.
I would hate that because I kept finding that shit 'cause I like boots. So like that's
Oh,
like a subsection of that kind of. It
makes
crosses.
sense.
I'm like, get this shit out of here.
Okay. They want to see
So
like the
weird.
boots like stepping on people.
Yeah, it's a whole subgenre. And then somehow balloons are involved too. Like it's very weird.
See, these are
Those rabbit holes keep going deeper and weirder.
I know it's the internet, right? Like you could find everything. And I don't like, I never like to judge any kind of like thing that people are into as long as it's like consensual, as long as you are doing it, like safely. I would love to have somebody on my podcast that's into that. And I just like don't know how to find them. I'm like, where do you find the people that are like the balloon fetish or what's the craziest fetish that you run into just in your sexual
Like run into my life, or
yeah,
just like
in
run
your
into
not on the internet, in your
in
life.
my real life, huh?
Yeah.
What would be the weirdest one? Okay, so this is my so interesting. This was way back in sixth grade.
Mhm.
Um, so we're sixth grade. We're skipping gym class. This all the kids who didn't change that day, just sitting on a bench.
Mhm.
And this one kid, we're in his sixth. I will never forget it. Looks over to us. I don't think he's ever had a girlfriend, but he was talking about how when he gets a girlfriend, he just wants a girlfriend that will listen to him and could just piss right in her mouth.
It's like
And we were like, what the fuck? This is sixth grade. We were like, what the fuck? Funny update.
yeah.
Turns out, guess what he grew up into? A killer. Or not a killer, sorry,
Oh,
attempted murderer. Yes.
wait,
He
so
moved to Texas and stabbed his girlfriend a few times.
oh my gosh,
Well,
that
I know
is
he should have been released by now. I'm glad he hasn't contacted me, but
oh my god. So it's like I guess if you're sixth graders and you're already imagining like pissing in someone's mouth, like that the natural progression is
it's like, how did you get to that level so young? It took me
yeah.
years to get close to that. Like,
Do like sixth graders even have such like a developed like sexual identity?
oh yeah, yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, I did not know that people are talking
Oh
about
no,
like
I've been into the at least the weird things like the leather boots and stuff
mhm.
all the way back then.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it like the sound or is it the visual aspect? You said it's more visual, right?
More visual though. I don't mind I like the sound and the feel. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And is it like, do you also enjoy like used leather products? Is that an aspect to
I
it?
mean, I don't like carry them around with me or anything like that, but again, like I mentioned before, I got my girl I got her a leather skirt just because they're in fashion and they've been driving me wild lately.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I've always liked the girl in leather jackets
Okay.
stuff. Um, cat suits are fun, but like I don't know. I never associated with the actual leather of it. It's more of the look for some reason.
Okay.
But
Oh, interesting. I
right.
guess there's like a whole world, and I don't know where we started before we were talking about biting on clits. Just, I'm like,
Uh,
we've gone.
I'm I'm not even sure. What do you call it?
Yeah, I know you're talking about the sexual
Yeah.
trauma. That's
Oh,
pretty,
right. The traumas. That's right. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
I got a trauma for you.
right? I mean, that's just probably I don't know, something that would make someone terrible in bed. The worst sex. And on
Oh,
her perspective, if somebody like bites you on your clit, I just
yeah. That was one of the hardest questions you gave me. Was what's the worst sex? That was just I don't know. Well, A, because it's not memorable. A,
right. You
right,
just block it.
and it's been a while. I mean, you don't think about it. I used to
Right.
say, me and Freya, we got highlight reels. We go over like director's cut, couple editions. We got material we go over.
Do you guys like film or make tapes, videos?
No, we've taken a couple of pictures a few times. But that's about
Okay. And you were talking about the girl that's sending you like sexy
it.
videos
Oh
and
yeah, from with her husband filming and stuff too. Yeah.
right. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. What goes on in these videos?
Oh well, I don't know. Either she'll probably be dancing or
Yeah.
in some kind of outfit. She's a belly dancer, that girl too. So, um, yeah, she'll do that, and then she'll ask me, what I want or what I want to hear or see. So, like, one of my things was like, all right, put me on the spot, kind of, because I wasn't ready to do this, but all right, let's play. I don't know, taste yourself or something like that.
Oh,
And
really? So she'd like be masturbating and she starts tasting herself?
well, she was dancing, and then what do you call it? I told her that was my request, and then her husband was like, "What do you call it? All right, taste yourself." And she's like, "Okay," and I was acting all cute and innocent, and then I went, did the thing, and kudos. All right.
So it was like a live, kind of like a live request.
Oh, all the time, yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
we used to do it more often, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Over the internet stuff is it's still fun, right?
right. And
It-
so, and you're planning on meeting, are you planning on meeting up with her
oh, I've met up with her before.
and having sex with her?
Um, I mean, it was kind of implied that we were going to beforehand,
Right.
and then everything got canceled and stuff. We haven't seen each other since. So, yeah, it's
Okay.
not high on my priority list either, though. So, you know,
Okay.
again,
She
I'm
needs
a
to up
rather
the seduction.
satisfied guy, so I'm not trying too hard here, to
Right.
find anything or do anything else too much. But
Don't get complacent.
I'm not complaining. Oh,
No,
trust
just
me,
kidding.
I got a problem. I can't help but hunt and look. But
Right.
at
Okay.
least I got a wolf pack behind me now, right?
Yeah, no, this is good. You have the security of the polyamorous relationship, and then this could give you like a good home base to go and go out and explore and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I miss when we used to go out dancing. So much fun.
yeah. Well, I think this is I've like took up so much of your time, but
Yeah, we did like
thank
a solid good 2 hours. It's
I
good.
know this is good. No, thank you so much for sharing. And of course, I will have all the information for your links below in the description.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, no, I think we touched upon a lot of different things, a
Oh,
lot of different areas, but this is great. And, like,
I think it's gonna be popular. I think it's gonna take off for you.
oh, I just want to have like real conversations with real people because I feel like, like we see people in your day-to-day lives, you see them at a party, you see them in a like with work, and you just don't really know what's going on. And I think like
Oh my
talking
God,
about it,
so much so.
right?
Yeah, you have no idea. But like people you work with and stuff too, and like.
Right. And I'm just from talking to people, I'm finding out like how common like a lot of these taboo subjects really are. Like you'd just be so surprised about how many people have like open marriages or polyamory or,
Well,
like
that's what I was saying. It's
the
like it's almost
fetishes.
the standard now. Like I was
Yeah.
noticing, um, like everyone's almost open of some kind or just not committing to relationships. I find that more common that people just don't commit to a relationship and
Just like
just
keep things ambiguous.
ambiguous and screw around and don't commit to anything. I find more often these days than people in kind of committed relationships, really.
Right,
At least
right.
that's what I'm seeing a lot. And then, shit, what was that other thing I wanted to touch upon? Oh, well, it's all right. But I keep losing myself with this
Yeah,
ADD.
that's fine. It's all good. We want it to be kind of like a just free flowing conversation because like yeah, I want to just highlight things that are happening in people's bedrooms. And so this is a definitely an
Yes,
interesting.
so many stories. It's going to do great for you. Like,
I
it's
mean, no,
never
this is
ending
like something
material.
that's like I've always been like curious about that. Like, so and I learn best I think from talking to people and listening to their stories because when you hear other people's stories, it's like it's normalized, it's real.
And like, so again, like my things, like I never thought I'd be doing what my fantasies were, right?
Yeah.
Based on what they were, or get the relationship I'm in now, but because of the people I met who were into it, themselves and pushed me towards doing the things that I secretly wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like opened it up for me.
So the
So it
listeners,
wasn't
yeah.
not common. Yeah. Go ahead.
So for the listeners that are, curious about, either exploring their hidden fantasies or fantasies that they've just been thinking about, what's your advice to them?
Well, first, figure out what it is, and then, find the person to do it with. Just, and talk to them about it. You
So
know,
figure out your vibe, then
you
find your
gotta
tribe.
figure out what you want, and then,
Yeah.
talk about it. And you may not find the right person who can talk about certain things or will do that kind of stuff for you, but hopefully you'll meet the right person to do the right things. And yeah. Mm.
And it'll have a
Yeah,
happy
again,
ending.
it all comes back to talking and communicating.
Right?
Goddamn important for everything.
I know. And I feel like even people in monogamous relationships, like the communication aspect, that's
Oh,
something that
absolutely,
they can
absolutely.
improve
They need
on
it
and
more
focus
than
on.
us. What
Yeah.
do you call it? Because we have some to at least get this going. You know what I mean? They might not have none. It's terrible.
Right.
So,
No, this is good. Well, thank you again. And like I'll say good night and then
good night. Don't
yeah, and we
don't
can
jump
connect
out on
later
me.
soon. Of course,
Oh
don't
yeah.
be a stranger.
Hmm.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Great episode.
Bye.
Thanks.